So this is our continuation of the fifth video. So in writing objective statement, we should, of course, as we tried to indicate, the interrelationship among objectives starting from the activities are hierarchically arranged here, just to come up with the activities. The activities for expected result number 1. For example, we could have many results that we expect, number 1, number 2, 3 and 4, 3, 4, 5 and so forth. For example, for the first result, there could be corresponding activities. Say, for example, 1.1, conduct a baseline survey of the vocational training and need assessment, which is just to fill the knowledge gap. The second could be analyze the findings of the study, make curriculum for training based on findings, and so forth are there. So these are the objectives, activities for the first result that we are trying to achieve by project. And again, for the second result, there are corresponding activities. So the existence of these activities, by carrying out these project activities, we can achieve result. It means enhance it among officials on trade facilitation and rules of origin for a given hypothetical project. So expected result, which is short-term objective, is just written like this. This is simple example. Second result is also there, and it has its own corresponding activities as we try to indicate. And project objective is there. This, as we discussed in video, this is a objective that a given project tries to achieve. Improved service from the state sector to exporting countries in country Y or X something. And then this project objective leads to the overall objective or contribute toward the overall objective. This is not within the reach of the project, as I tried to indicate. Just the achievement of this objective, this project objective by the project, contribute toward the overall objective. This is to mean. So I hope you understand this. And when we go to the next slide, it is about when selecting objectives, something we have to do. It is something that we are expected to do. It should be SMART, as we said, as we know. SMART later, abbreviation later, is specific, measurable, approved, realistic, and time-bound. So mandate of the corresponding office ministries should be just identified. Resource implementing the project objectives should be known. Problem to be solved corresponding to the objectives should be identified. The target group and the diplomacy issue or lobbies or lobbyists should be considered. So accordingly, we may go toward this achieving our objectives. The fifth step is plan of activities or plan of operations, we can say. And activities or plan of operations could be the means to achieve the objectives, not the objectives. They are the means, not the end. Activities tackle the causes of the focal problem, as we try to indicate. And activities should be clearly specified and expressed as an action. They explain how to achieve the expected results of a project. the short-term objective, for instance. The activities should be connected to the expected results. Just each activity should yield some results. For instance, as we try to indicate, expected result 1 could have many activities. To achieve expected result number 1, we could have activity number 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, and so forth, depending upon the nature of the result. Again, another expected result has its own corresponding activities. So this is simply to indicate how the activities are just designed. For instance, improved knowledge among decision makers at ministerial level on efficient trade facilitation measures could be a result, and correspondingly to achieve this result, there are many objectives set out. Make a need assessment among staff in ministries and relevant authorities, then develop a training program, a curricula and training material for trainers, print training material, and so forth. These are the activities that we carried out in order to just achieve this result. In the same way, another result could also have its own corresponding activities. It means the 6th step is related to planning of resource. A resource could be staff, budgets, which is financial resource, equipment, time, and so forth. This should be properly planned. So the experts and the personnel, as you can see, human resource, this is a critical one in a project undertaking, as well as any other activities, any other undertakings, project group, reference group, which knowledge and the capacity to be needed for each activity should be properly planned. Financing, it could be obtained from loan, from grants, funds, cost sharing, and corresponding to this, who is financing what should be known, and just future long-term financing options could also be considered. Equipment, depending upon the nature of the project. For example, spare parts, if maintenance is needed or available, these things should be just considered. Premises, office, training facilities, is there a contractor for the premises, and so forth should be there. Time, make realistic time schedule using, for instance, Gantt chart or some other scheduling mechanisms. So as you may remember, in the third or second video, we tried to take example of the Gantt chart, and it could be elaborated accordingly. Each and every activity is listed here in rows, and corresponding to each and every activity, again, there is the time, maybe in quarter, in weeks, in months, and so forth, in hours, depending upon the nature of the project. These things are listed, and then which activity will be carried out when will be actually indicated. The 7th step is indicators and source of verification. Actually, the project achievement should have its own indicator. Whether a given project is achieved or not should be just read from the indicators or against some measures. And then how those indicators will be verified should be there, just to monitor the results. So the indicators measure achievement simply. Are the objectives achieved? Or is there any positive result? Just to answer this, we should have some measures, indicators. The process of getting up indicators shows whether the objectives are vague and unrealistic. Of course, it depends. So from the very beginning, the objectives should be clear enough, realistic enough, as we try to indicate, and they should have their own indicators, measures of achievement. Indicators should be set for all expected results. Each and every result should have its own corresponding indicator. And for the project purpose, maybe short-term project objectives, medium-term objectives could be there. Sorry. Indicators should state the quality and the quantity even. So accordingly, we can measure, we can just achieve our objective. So the examples of indicators, quality and or quantity could be there. Indicators for management training could be, for example, number of persons participated in training. What are sources of verification? List of participants in terms of quantity. Number of occasions when knowledge among the trained personnel have been used. For example, the source of verification could be number, interviews, and so forth. So just number of occasions when knowledge among the trained personnel has been used could be just achieved this way. Number of persons passing the test after the training. Source of verification, the test result from the training, and so forth. So indicators for the project is there, and corresponding to that source of verification is there. So number of satisfied customers could be indicator, and the source of verification maybe statistics, interviews, percent, just by quantifying, by taking into consideration the percentage of people satisfied. You can do it, you can achieve it. So the indicators could be quantitatively or qualitatively just stated. Indicator, again, baseline study could be needed. Baseline study before the achievement of the project, because intervention by the project should be used. Risk analysis and management issues are there actually. Continuous risk analysis and risk management is important to reach sustainability. Of course, risk is something which is adverse towards our objective. Any factor which may influence the implementation of the project and the ends of the objective is said to be risk. Internal and external risks are there. So accordingly, we have to identify the risk is measurable, and the values of each potential influence of risk could be there, and you can refer to this. And finally, analysis of assumptions are there. Important problems to be solved by others. Assumptions describe situations and the conditions which are necessary for the project success. Problems needed to be solved, but which are largely beyond the control of the project. So risks and assumptions are beyond the control. An assumption is problem that is to be understood. So in general, the 9 steps could be categorized this way. The first 3 is about the relevance issue. The next 4 are about the feasibility, and the last 2, which is 9 and 8 and 9, is the issue of sustainability. So these are how we are going to properly come up with a project initiation, project identification. So I hope you are going to make use of this video very well. So thank you very much until we come up with other videos lecture videos. Thank you.